Good evening, everyone. So this session is for CSAT. So everyone might be aware about this CSAT thing. CSAT is important. What are different topics? What is the qualifying marks? How many questions are asked here in paper 2 CSAT? 80 questions. Out of 80, how many questions we need to make it correct? 27 correct. And what is the passing marks? 66 or 66.67? In the notification, it is written it is 33%. So there also the application of percentage. 33% of 200 is what? 66.67 again. If I ask 1/3 of 100, it is what? If I ask 1/3 of 200, it is what? This is 66.67. But in the notification, it is written 33%, not 33.33%. So we need to have how many marks? 66. If we are getting 66, that means we have crossed the barrier. 27 correct questions we need. Out of 80, 27. So if we are attempting like 40 questions, just 5 questions incorrect, then also we can clear it. If it is 10 questions incorrect, then can we clear it? CSAT. Here it is also CSAT. So basically we need to have 66 marks out of 200. In GS what happens? How many serious candidates are there? 1.5, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, this way only, not more than that. But how many are filling the forms? Like 10 lakhs, 11, 20, and 12 lakhs this way. Out of 10, 12 lakhs, roughly 2 lakhs, they are serious candidate. And out of these 2 lakhs, 10 to 15,000 only, they are going to clear prelims. And that prelims ki cutoff is going to get decided on GS. So GS paper 1 mein, this GS paper, in this, we need to beat candidates. Like we need to have scores in top 10,000, 15,000 list. Then only we can clear it. But for CSAT, paper 2, we need to beat just 27 questions. Here we need to beat questions, not the candidates. Utni mehnat nahi CSAT mein. But what is happening right now? We are living in delusion. What kind of delusion? We can see topper stock. YouTube pe everything is available. Previous year question, solution, concept, practice question, everything is available. So we are having this idea ki we know how to approach CSAT or how to approach GS. So this also satisfies our mind ki we know what to do. Then we think about, we'll do after some time. First, complete some GS part, which are very important. Then we'll start CSAT. So back of the mind mein it goes like this way ki we have this idea ki what can be the approach for CSAT. And we are confident also, few questions we have seen and few shortcuts, few topper stocks, that's done. Then what happens in last 3 months, we start panicking ki what to do. We have to revise, like we have read these many reference books, these many notes we have prepared, that also we need to revise. After then, at the same time, what is happening? PT 365 is also coming. So we are in dilemma ki what to do, this current affairs or this CSAT. So like this is January, so February, how many hours we need to complete the CSAT part? How many hours? What do you think? Roughly 100 hours if you devote for CSAT, it is more than enough. 100 hours. Every hour, every day 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. If this way you devote time for CSAT, roughly 1 month mein it is completed. But still we are not able to devote this much time, and at the end we start thinking here what to do with CSAT. Just my RC is okay, my reasoning is okay, I'm going to go with that. So that we don't need to do. How many parts are there in CSAT? We have quant part, maths. We have LR part. We have RC part. How many questions are asked? These things you might be knowing, because so many videos, so many things you might have heard about it. How many questions? What is the trend right now? In maths, around 40 questions. LR, around 15. RC, 27 or 29, or like this way they are asking questions. 11 passages, every passage 1 question. Then some 10, 11 passages, every passage 2 questions. This way, this is the trend, what UPSC is following right now. So this way they are asking questions. So roughly it is 25 to 30. And this can be like around 40, it can be 39, 38, it can be 41, 42, 43. But previously the trend was different. In RC, they were asking more questions, around 35. And before that, like 15 and before, they were asking questions on decision making, 4 or 5 questions. But right now they're not asking any question on that. So this is the trend we can see, which is currently going on in last 3, 4, 5 years. So if this is the trend, then how we can decide? We just want 27 questions correct. And we can see that we cannot go with LR only. It is less than 27. But we can go with, we can think of it, if we can go with this maths part only. We can go with this RC part only. We can think of it like number of questions are more than 27, but our accuracy cannot be like 100%. That is also the case of concern. So what we can do, we can go for all the 3 parts. We need to attempt the questions from all the 3 parts. How you are going to attempt, that is based on your performance, your experience with the CSAT paper. For everyone, this is different. Like if one is good in maths, that person can attempt more questions from maths part. If someone is very good in RC, that person can attempt more question in RC part. RC के लिए what do you think कि what can be done? Reading comprehension, editorials. Everyone knows that editorial, newspaper, they are very important for RC part. How it is important? How we can take help from the editorials, which can be useful for RC part? Current affairs? Try to summarize. So how many articles you have summarized? None. Because see the thing is, the current challenge also we need to see. And we need to be very practical, very honest about yourself, about ourselves in this preparation. If we are honest, then only we can clear it. We can see the race, out of 2 lakhs, just 10 to 15,000. For current affairs, we are going after YouTube videos, We are going after this current affairs magazines. So we have so many options. We are not reading newspaper. It is said कि yes, every day everyone might be having the subscription of newspaper. Everyone might be having that hard copy of the newspaper. आ रहा है सबके पास? कितने दिन वो रबर खुल रहा है? And many times this happens कि when we are having dinner, then we look for कि यार कितने papers बचे हैं उधर से निकाल लो कि bed खराब ना हो जाए. So these things are happening and we need to be aware about it. We need to be very honest about it. So these things are not happening. We're not reading newspaper editorials in detail and then we are summarizing it. Then what we can do? We can see the previous year questions. And RC के लिए, I don't think anyone is capable of reaching RC in this industry. Why I'm saying that? Because every year what happens? UPSC is taking this paper and every year from every coaching institute, answer key is released. And every year it happens कि 4 to 5 questions are incorrect if we compare with the UPSC answer key. This happens. So for RC part, we need to rely upon ourselves. Try to see how questions are being framed, what are the passages, what information they are providing, then try to see how you are reaching to the answer, what answer you are getting in that RC. Then try to match it with the UPSC answer key. And do not go after this last year paper. Last year paper ka RC, do not try to solve it because UPSC has not released the answer key. And if you are going after the coaching's answer key, you might get the wrong idea, the wrong logic, with which, again, in this year also, you can solve the same question, the same answer, incorrect. So 23, 22, 21, 20, this way try to get the question paper and see what question they are asking. What are the tail words in the question? The difficulty is not understanding the passage, but difficulty is reaching the answer. How to get the correct answer out of 4 options. That is the most important part. That is the most difficult part in RC. So if you read any passage, how you are reading any passage? We try to see what is the tone of the passage. It is positive or it is negative. It is appreciating something or it is negating some concepts or negating some ideas. This way we can get some idea about the passage. Then we can get this idea ki what argument they are providing. What arguments they are providing, what is the main argument in the passage, which is provided by the author of the passage, that we can get. So if we are going to break down the passage, then only we can understand it better. The same way editorials may, we are going to break the passage, then we get the information. We read what is the heading of that article, then we try to seek answer of few questions. If we are getting answers of those questions, that means the article is complete. But if it is not, then we look for another article. Then we can go for the supporting arguments. One would be the main argument, then other would be the supporting argument. After reading these 3 things, understanding these 3 things, we can go after what is the crux of the passage. What they want to convey. They are like aligning with the idea. They want some other idea. They want to propose some way ahead for that problem. So this way we get something out of it, that passage. This is about passage. Then they ask about few questions like, simply they can ask what is the crux? What is the central idea of the passage? Then they can ask about what inference we can draw with the help of the information which is given in the passage. What else they can ask? They can ask you what assumption was made in the passage while writing that information. Ki government is doing good, government is not doing good. So this way, some assumptions are there. On that, they have started writing that information. And over the top, the most important thing is, we need to stick to the information which is given in the passage. Because we are reading GS, the topic is about environment, the topic is about climate change, the topic is about governance. Correct? We have read a lot about it. So we have lots of information. But we need to stick with the information which is given in the passage. Then only we can get to the correct answer. So these are the things. This way, try to read the passages, try to get the information, extract. We need to extract the information. We cannot simply get the information what is given in the passage. After then, we can go for the questions. Then we need to check with the options. Now the question is given, we understood ki what is the question. Then we need to check with the option. Next step mein, we'll try to see ki out of 4 option, which is like many times we can see this, all the 4 options are correct. Then which is the most correct? That we need to find out. The most correct answer. That will be our answer. If all the 4 options are, it seems like they are wrong. Which is least wrong. So this way we can go after options. Then we can pick one option out of these 4. Then only we can reach to the answer and can get an accuracy of like 80% after doing all these things. And after practicing like 4-5 years ke questions, we can get more clarity. We can get that accuracy more than like 80%, 85%. This way we can go. RC mein, this is the thing we can do. What about this LR part and maths part? What we can do? So RC mein we don't have like topic listing. We just need to have ki what kind of tail words they are asking. What is the meaning of those tail words? How we can find out the answer with the help of that tail word, assumption, that inference. How we can conclude it, what can be the conclusion, what can be the crux. The meaning of these terms we need to understand. And we don't have any topic or subtopic in RC. This way only we can get questions. But this part, maths and LR, what we can do? First thing, we need to understand from what topic they are asking questions. If we see the syllabus mein nothing much is written. They have just written numerical ability, data interpretation. That is also class 10 level. That is what is written in the syllabus. With that, we cannot have much idea about it. We can have a greater clarity over the topics if we see the previous year papers. Last 10 years, last 15 years. And the trend which we are following right now, it is in sync with last 5 to 7 years. Just that. Before that, they were asking like very easy questions. But in last 5 to 7 years, we can see what is the trend, what are the topics, what is the difficulty level, that is like same. So if I ask you, what can be the approach for maths part? Because around 40 questions they are asking. So what can be it? What do you think? What can be done? National highway, kya? High weightage area. So that we can find out. Ki what is the high weightage area? So how we can find out that? PYQs, if we see. So have you seen that? Okay. But idea is clear, and that is also like, this is the idea. This is the approach we are going to follow. So everyone knows that what to do, but you have to do, you have to read. That is very important. If you're not reading it, just stuck with this idea ki I know how to approach, I know what to do, that is not going to help. You need to read, you need to study, you need to revise, you need to practice. That is the most important thing. तो अभी सर्दियों में पढ़ाई हो रही है सही से? सर्दियों में खाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है और नींद बड़ी अच्छी आती है. तो बस यही काम करना है. ये 2-3 महीने अच्छे से मेहनत कर ली तो पूरा लाइफ सेट है. नहीं हुआ तो फिर से साइकिल इज गोइंग टू गेट स्टार्टेड. फिर से यही सर्दियाँ आएंगी जनवरी वाली. अगेन विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग व्हाट टू डू. फिर से वही सर्दियाँ, फिर से वही अच्छा खाना और अच्छी नींद. तो अगर इसी में रह गए तो फिर करते रहें यही फिर हम लोग. The important thing is we need to study. So maths में if we see the listing of topics, if we have seen the previous year papers, the questions, the listing of topics is like this number system. There are so many sub parts of it, and 50% questions out of 40, 20 questions are coming from this part only, this number system. Then we have this percentage part, profit, loss, discount. Club these topics with simple interest, compound interest, ratios, mixtures. This is the second highest weightage area topic. After then, we have average, we have time, speed, distance, time and work. Then we have set theory. Every year one question they are asking. And then what else? The topics you feel key that can come in the paper. Anyone? Simple interest, compound interest, sequence, that is part of LR, logical reasoning का part है. Maths में what else? Permutation combination. So yes, it was very important topic, but it is like we can hope that this year also they do not ask any question from this topic. Sorry. Permutation combination, probability. Probability say they don't ask any question. Like every 2-3 years may they are going to ask just one question. Every 2-3 years, not every year. And this permutation combination, 23 may they asked around 8 to 9 questions. And that is why in the history of CSAT, 23 ka paper was the most difficult. Because of this permutation and combination. And because of the protest and all, what happened in 24? They didn't ask any question. Not a single question. Because it was given that this is part of higher mathematics. It is not part of class 10 level mathematics. It is part of higher mathematics. Although they refused to accept that, we have given any question which is part of higher mathematics, which can be solved with the help of any formula. You pick any question of 23, you can get the answer just by hit and trial. But it will take some time. It will kill our time. So like 9 to 10 questions in 1 hour we can solve them. But other questions are also there and total time is just 2 hours. So that was very difficult. Yes, this is also very important one, but what we can do, how we can get this idea that this paper is difficult or not. When we are getting the CSAT paper, How we get this idea in first 1 or 2 minutes कि this paper is difficult or not that difficult. This P and C is the marker. If more questions from this permutation and combination, that means the paper is on difficult side. If no question, that means okay, moderate. This is the marker, permutation and combination. So this way we get idea. What other topics we can have in maths part? Statistics? Statistics was my optional, yeah. It is not asked. Statistics, earlier they were asking questions, earlier. 12, 11, that time they were asking questions from statistics and it was there in the syllabus, but they're not asking any question. So mean, median, mode, they can simply ask and that also will come in this part. Correct. We have data interpretation. But not a single question they are asking in last 2-3 years, data interpretation. They have switched from data interpretation to data sufficiency. Ki data is sufficient or not, this way they are asking 8 to 9 questions every year. 8 to 9, not just 1, 2. Like DI say they were asking 2-3 questions, 3-4 years back. Like one pie diagram is given, one histogram, one bar diagram is given, some information, some data is given. And based on that information, they were asking like 3-4 questions. But they stopped asking these type of data interpretation question. They switched from that part to this data sufficiency. What is data sufficiency part? Anyone is having any idea about it? Like? Correct. So like they will provide this way information. Like X% of Y is equal to 10. Then it is written Y% of X is equal to 100. First statement, second statement. Then they will ask the question, what is the value of X? Then they will provide this way options. With the help of statement 1 only we can get the answer. With the help of statement 2 only we can get the answer. With the help of both the statements 1 and 2 we can get the answer. Then last option, we cannot get the answer even by combining these two statements information. So basically, whatever the data they have provided, is it sufficient to provide the answer of this question? This way they are asking questions. And this data sufficiency part, it is not limited to any topic. They are asking from number system also, percentage, sorry. So they are asking these questions from all these parts. Now that weightage part, and what about this geometry, algebra, trigonometry, mensuration, what about these topics? Cube and dice. Cube and dice, it is part of LR. LR में, LR के भी some topics are there, I will list it down. Correct? Maths में these are the topics, important topics which we can read and understand and discuss. Ki what are these things? So if we go for the weightage part, what do you think where the weightage is the most? This. 50% questions are coming from this part. Every year, in last 3-4 years, they are asking around 20 questions. 15 to 20 to 21, 22, this way also they have asked. Then this part, '23 may not a single question they asked, just one question from this SI and CI. But earlier they were asking 8 to 10 questions. 5-6 years back, they were asking this way only. 8 to 10 questions. But right now, they are asking very few questions. Then this part, every year 1 or 2 questions they are asking. This is also 1 or 2 questions every year. 1 or 2 questions. 1 or 2 questions. Then this is like permutation, combination and probability. So 5 to 6 questions का average चल रहा था. But last year not a single question. So this year also we expect कि no questions are asked. But still UPSC is UPSC, they can ask. So we need to have some basic idea about this permutation and combination. That basic idea relates to the concept of counting. How we can count things, not the formulas. Like how we can calculate NPR, NCR, you know? Then different distributions are also involved. So that we don't need to learn. Basic counting concept. Then this data sufficiency part here, 7 to 8 questions. So this way we can see the trend over years, over 5 to 7 years. And the most important topic is this number system. So we have listed out the topics also. This is also there over internet, over YouTube. All these things are there. So if I ask you number system, if you want to study, how you can study, how you can read, how you can have the concepts. The idea of CSAT is like, try to understand the basic concepts of these topics which we have listed down. Then after, try to get the basic questions. After then you can go for previous year questions. After then, what can be the probable question? And here also with the help of PYQs, we can get this idea that similar type of questions, they are being repeated. Similar type of questions. In all these topics, number system, everywhere, percentage, everywhere, we can get this sense that this way next year also they can ask questions. So how we can get the basic concepts? Like if I write, like this number system topic is very important. We need to understand what is it. So there should be a listing of subtopics. So if I write subtopics of number system, it is like first subtopic is number of zeros, divisibility rule, classification of numbers, listing of numbers, two-digit and three-digit number, remainders concept, unit digit concept, number of pages concept, LCM, HCF, smallest numbers, largest numbers, where we can have the concept of power, a to the power b, a to the power c, this way. So these are the subtopics of number system. So if these are the subtopics and they are asking 20 questions, like if we see this classification of numbers, every year they are asking 2 to 3 questions from this topic only, 2 to 3 questions. From this topic, 1 or 2 questions. From this topic, every year at least one question, at least one question. 2-digit and 3-digit number, and if we combine it with remainder or manipulation of digits, every year 2 questions. This remainder unit digit concept, every year 1 or 2 question. Then only combination of these will become 20 questions. LCM, HCFs, every year they are asking at least one question. This is also one. So this way, number of pages is not every year they are asking question, 2-3 questions they have asked. So this way we can see the number system where different topics are there. So if we are coming across these topics, so first idea is we need to have a basic concept. Ki what are these subtopics? How we can get the like basic concepts. So basic concept, if I try to make you understand, if I take some topics like this first topic, number of zeros. How they are asking questions? Basically the idea is, if I write a number, how many zeros are there at the end? How many zeros are there at the end? 2. That is the answer. This way, the idea is this way they are framing questions. But this way they cannot ask. They will ask this way, a number is written this way. How many zeros are there at the end? The idea is this only. If we try to write this number in this form, one single number, and then count how many zeros are there at the end, we'll get the answer. So that is the basic thing. Basic thing we understood. How to read the numbers, how to get the answer of the question. Then we'll try to get the concept. 2 and 5 ka one pair will provide us 1 0. 2 into 5 we get 10. 2 into 5 into 2 we get 20. There also 1 0, 1 0 this way. Then we'll try to see that concept and we'll try to generalize that concept for all the bigger numbers. So this way we can understand the basics, then we can go for the basic question, then we can go for previous year question. Then we can have this idea. If you see last 2-3 years ke question on this topic only, you can guess ki what can be the question this year they can ask. What can be the type? We can get that idea. It is not like we cannot predict what kind of question they are going to ask. Then this divisibility rule concept, everyone might be aware about it. What is the divisibility rule of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? If you are aware of divisibility rule of like 3 and 5, are you aware of it? So what is divisibility rule of 3? Anyone? Sum of digits must be divisible by 3. Divisibility rule of 5? Last digit must be 0 or 5. So if I ask what is the divisibility rule of 15? So if we know these two things, 15 ko we can write 3 into 5. That means if we pick a number, if that number is divisible by 3, that means it is following divisibility rule of 3 and it is following divisibility rule of 5 also. That number is divisible by 15. This way, if we know divisibility rule of like 11, divisibility rule of 4, we know ki what is the divisibility rule of 44. So this way, if we know the basic concepts, we can go further and can get the complex problems ka answer bhi. Then what is this classification of numbers? This topic. If I write classification of numbers, so some basic idea you need to have. Because this way you cannot get a listing in other places. key classification of numbers, listing of numbers. This way you cannot get the listing of subtopics in number system. So what does this mean, classification of numbers? We are going to classify numbers in different categories. We can have like real number, imaginary number, we can have rational number, irrational number, we can have integers, non-integers, we can have even number, odd number, prime number, composite number, correct? This way we can have different classification of numbers. So why it is important? Because the questions are asked this way. Like if I pick one question, see this. For what value of n the sum of digits in the number 10 to the power n plus 1 is 2? This is the question. Here it is written for n is equal to 0 only for any whole number n. So whenever it is written whole numbers, what does this mean? That comes under classification of numbers. So classification of numbers, if we write this way, like rational number, irrational number, then subparts of rational number, integer, and then another part is what? Fraction. So this is one part, integers, another part, fraction. Then this part is what? Whole numbers. The sub part of whole numbers, natural number. Sub part of natural number is what? Odd, even, prime, composite number. So this way we can classify these numbers. We need to know what are the examples of these numbers, what is the range, what values it can take if it is written whole numbers. That means it is what? It will start from. If it is written natural number, it will start from 1. If it is written negative integers, it will start from -1, -2 this way. Number line, this is the number line. So these are negative integers. So whenever negative integers are written, that means 0 is not there. If it is written positive integers, 0 is not there. But if it is written this way, non-negative integer, then non-negative integer. So basically we need to see the meaning of the terms. These are negative integers, -1, -2 this way. Non-negative, that means we are going to remove it. What we are left with? 0, 1, 2, 3. So non-negative integers, it will be what? Correct? 0, 1, 2, 3 this way. So we need to understand the meaning of the terms, then we can move forward. And why it is important? Because in the question it can be written x is a natural number, x is a non-negative integer, x is a whole number. Like here, it is written for any whole number n, for any positive integer n only. So we need to understand कि if n is a positive integer, that means n can take value starting from 1, 2 this way. Now if we try to solve this question, what can be the answer? This is a previous year, you might have solved it. किया है? नहीं? So what is written here? This is the number. Number is 10 to the power n plus 1. Correct? Question they are asking, for what value of n? The sum of digits. So we need to have understanding about the digits. What are digits? If I write a number 10, or if I write 115, what are the digits? 5, 1, 1. These are the digits. How many digits are there? Total, in total, how many digits are there? 10. Total digits are like, these are the digits. With the help of these 10 digits, we can make any number. But the base is this only, this is decimal system. So if 10 is written, what is the sum of the digits? 1 plus 0, that is 1. What is sum of digits here? 1 plus 1 plus 5, this is what? 7. These are the sum of digits. So n key value, what can be the value of n if sum of digits in the number is 2? So n key value, we can put some values, like if we take 0, what value we are getting? 10 to the power 0 plus 1. This is what? 10 to the power 0 is what? Any number to the power 0 is? How we are getting that value? Any number to the power 0? Like if I write a to the power m divided by a to the power n. Base is same. We write that this is what? M minus n. If I write like 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power 2. Basically, we can write 10 to the power 3 ko this way. What we are getting? 10. Or simply, if we see the power is 3, 3 minus 2, that is 1. If I write 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power 3, that is what? This is 10 to the power 0. And the same number is divided by same number, that is what? So that is why we get any number to the power 0 is what? 1. So here we are getting this value as 1 plus 1 as 2. 2 is what? Sum of digits. Then if we put n key value 1, then what can be the number key value? 10 to the power 1 plus 1. Number is what? 10 plus 1, 11. What is the sum of digits? 2. Here also we are getting sum of digits as 2. So if we are doing this n key value, we are putting 0, we are getting sum of digits as 2. We can simply mark the first option is the correct one. But why it is not correct one? Why we need to go for further options? Because it is written only. For n is equal to 0 only. So we need to check for other option also. So we can see ki n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, 3. Further if we put values, we can get ki we are getting sum of digits as 2 everywhere. That means n key value we are getting how? This way. This is what? Whole numbers. This is whole numbers. And this cannot be a possibility because it is a positive number. Like 0 is not included here. That is why correct option is B. So this way we can understand basic concepts. Then only this fear will be gone. Because whenever we see numbers, we think of यार थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, आगे चलते हैं. तो number का fear we can do some practice. We can understand the very basic concepts. Take very simple examples. Take 1, 2, 3, 4. See what you are getting. Then if I take, sorry.
Does CSAT feel like an unexpected hurdle in your UPSC prelims preparation? You're not alone. Each year, Thousands of aspirants face challenges in logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, and reading comprehension. But here's the solution. Vision IAS brings you the CSAT crash course for Prelims 2025, starting from 21st January at 1 p.m., available both offline and online. This program is designed to simplify CSAT with expert guidance, step-by-step strategies to tackle every question type, comprehensive focus, master key areas like logical reasoning, reading comprehension, and numeracy, continuous practice, mini tests, interactive sessions, and an all-India CSAT test series. Flexible learning, choose offline classes or live online sessions to suit your schedule. Turn CSAT into your strength. Join Vision IAS and ensure success in UPSC Prelims 2025. Flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news. Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC Prelims with a strong command of current affairs. With UPSC Prelims 2025 knocking at your doorstep, are you feeling the jitters? Is the vast syllabus making you anxious, and are you struggling to use these last months effectively to revise and brush up your knowledge? Stay calm and take charge of your preparation. Utilize these last months effectively to revise each subject thoroughly with the quick revision classes for General Studies Prelims 2025 starting on 5th February at 1 p.m. These classes offer comprehensive coverage of key subjects and topics for quick revision. Seize the opportunity and stand out in UPSC Prelims with targeted documents like the quick revision module. Commence your quick revision classes for features including thematic coverage of GS syllabus, coverage of core subjects like polity, economy, and more, personalized one-on-one mentoring support, comprehensive and updated quick revision module, integrated assessment and feedback. In these last crucial months, act wisely and choose the smart revision strategy to excel in UPSC Prelims.
After classification of numbers, what was the next topic? Subtopic, listing of numbers. What does this mean? So listing of numbers means some basic idea we'll get. So listing of number is written, what does that mean? If it is written, numbers are listed from 1 to 10. Numbers are listed from 1 to 10. And they are asking ki how many numbers are there such that 2 is coming at unit place. This way they can ask question. How many such numbers are there where 2 is coming at unit place? Very simple question. Only one number? Numbers are this way only. only this number is where 2 is coming at unit place. And they can ask this big question ki if 1 to 100 is written, this is the listing of numbers, it is provided, then how many numbers are there such that 2 is coming at unit place? How many? How many such numbers are there where 2 is coming at unit place? How we are 10, 11, how? So we can start with ki 1 to 10 mein 2 is the number where 2 is coming at unit place. Then 12 is that number. Then 22, 32, 42 this way, 92. These are the numbers where 2 is coming at unit place. We can simply count them. कितने हो जाएंगे? 10 और 11 और 9. 10 हो जाएंगे. Answer is 10. So UPSC is asking this way, how this concept, based on this concept, how we can ask difficult question. We can ask this way, ki listing of numbers 1 to 1000. Then they will ask ki how many numbers are there such that 2 is coming at unit place. They can add one more information, ki 2 is also coming at 10th place. So this way they can complicate the question. So if we know this basics, ki how we are counting when 2 is coming at unit place, when 2 is coming at 10th place, ye wala bhi idea hai na everyone. If I am writing this way, 435, this is unit place, this is 10th place, this is 100th place. And there is a place value also. Unit place value is what? 5 into 1. 3 into 10, this is what? 4 into 100. Because of the place values, we read the numbers 435 because of the place values only. So this way, we can first get the basic concepts. Ki literally what they are asking. They are asking for counting this way the numbers. Then we can go for complex problems. Not that complex, simply we need to count. So we can have some observation. Based on that, we can make some formula or trend or a pattern. Based on that, we can solve questions. So this way we need to develop things. LCM, HCF तो सबको पता होगा. अच्छा, इसमें और किसी टॉपिक में you feel कि I have heard this topic for the first time? Any topic? Any subtopic of number system? I think you might have heard about all these topics. Nahin? What is unit digit concept? So unit digit, like unit digit concept mein what happens? If I write a number, what is the unit digit in this number? 9. This is the concept. But they will ask this way, 4 to the power 1059. What will be the unit digit here? That means we need to write this number in this form. Then we'll try to check ki what is coming at unit place. So that idea we need to develop. If this way number is written, how we can get unit digit wala concept. So that is also the concept, like 45 into 11. What can be the unit digit here? Simply we can multiply and can get ki what we are getting at unit place. Like 45 ko if I multiply by 11. 5, 4, cross 5, 4. Then we are going to add 5, 9, 4. What we are getting at unit place? 5. Now we can make some observation. how this 5 we are getting. Like this 5 we are getting from this 5. And this 5 we are getting how? If we are multiplying this 1 into this 5. That means we are multiplying unit digit of this number and unit digit of this number. Then we are getting this unit digit 5. So we are getting this concept. So that way we can develop other concepts also. पहले basics पता करना है, after then we can go forward. ठीक है? So इसमें number system में सारा like this way the basics we need to know. Then we have like time, speed, distance, time and work. For every topic we have some subtopics that we need to identify, that concept we need to build, then we can go for question. So what do you think? You can do it on your own, or do you need some videos, some classes, or what? What do you think? So that depends how motivated you are. If you are very motivated, you can simply, these things are available over internet also, you can go for that and try to get these concepts very clear. Then try to discuss, try to solve previous year question, some practice question, and chat GPT is also there to help you. Anyone is using chat GPT or not? Ho raha hai use? How you are taking help from chat GPT? To make assignments? Like questions. You are asking ki, on this topic, make 4 or 5 questions. So they are making that. But still, yes, they can make questions, but the solution part pe still there is like 80-90% ka accuracy is there. Like 10 questions you are asking, 7-8 questions they can like answer correctly, and data sufficiency wale part pe to all the questions they are making incorrect. Ki data is sufficient or not, in that part they are giving us incorrect answers. But yes, they can make questions. So if you want to practice more and more questions, you simply ask ChatGPT, this is the question. Make similar type questions, like 4 or 5 similar type of questions you form. You can get 4, 5, 6 similar type of questions and then try to get the answer. So this way also you can practice. And the same thing is happening, I think, in test series also. Similar type of questions you can get. If ChatGPT is there, it is helping everyone. If you are solving question or you are making questions. So both way, ChatGPT is helping others. So this is all about this maths part. Concept clarity is very important. And conventional approach is very important. Do not go after shortcuts. Like you cannot start with the shortcuts. Ki number system mein different subtopics are there. You tell me what are different shortcuts. So that is going to be very fatal. Because the way UPSC is framing questions, they are going after exceptions. And every shortcut formulas mein what happens, ki if this is the case, then only we can apply this shortcut. But SSC banking mein shortcuts are very important because time is very limited. And the cutoff is also decided by that. But here we don't have that limitation. Only 27 correct questions. So out of 40 maths questions are coming, 10 तो ऐसे ही छोड़ने हैं उसमें से, आंख बंद करके छोड़ने ही छोड़ने हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि 40 का 40 पूरा करना है. Out of 40 you are doing 30, that is also very high percentage. 25 is a very good number out of 40. So maths part mein, these things we need to do. Do not go after this shortcut thing. And LR part mein, what are different subtopics? Anyone? Important topics are like cubes, calendar, dice, then clock. What else? Connection. Silox. What else? Blood relation. Direction. Then inequalities also. Series. So these are the important topics of LR, from where every year we are getting questions. Like cubes wala, 2-3 concepts are there. Dice, 2-3 concepts are there. On those concepts only every year they are asking questions. तो इसमें गलत होने के chances ही नहीं है. Then same way calendars. Calendars में they are like last 2-3 years से they are asking the questions on remainders also. The application of remainders. Odd days वाला concept होता है इसमें. But how to get that odd days? We need to get the remainder, that remainder की value. So that can come from number system part. So number system and calendars, they are mixing and giving us the questions. Yes? Cards? हाँ, ऐसे तो और भी हैं. This is not the exhaustive list. These are the important listing, important topics. Every year we are getting questions. Then this arrangement part, distribution part, syllogism, blood relation, directions, inequalities, series. This series part, say 2-3 questions they are asking every year. And what happens, if you know, you know. Otherwise, like if you devote 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then also you cannot get the answer of it. So series wale question mein what happens, if you know the answer, if you get the answer, you will get within 30 seconds or 1 minute. Otherwise, you cannot get it. So mark it and come again at the end. But then also you will not get the answer. So better is to go for any other question. So this happened. And LR part, say out of 15 questions, you can attempt like more than 10 questions. More than 10 questions you can attempt. And maths and LR mein what happens? The accuracy is like more than 90%. You know ki this is the answer. Only few questions, 2-3 questions mein you can get this idea ki this can be incorrect. Otherwise, mostly you will get this idea, if you got the answer, this is the correct one. So that is why if someone is very good at maths and LR part, so their attempts are little lower. They cannot attempt like 60 questions. They will be attempting like 50, 52 this way, 48. But what happens, the accuracy is high. But if you are attempting more question from RC part, number of attempts can be more. Like 20, 25 questions you are marking from the RC part. Then LR say be like 10 questions everyone can mark. LR mein these are the limited areas from which every year they are asking questions. So LR is the scoring area where you can score like 8 to 10 questions. And RC we already discussed. So CSAT ke liye the thumb rule is practice and read. Do not just go after this idea ki I know what is the approach. Everyone knows that. That approach everyone knows, but we have to read, we have to study, we have to revise the things. And set the criteria, set the target, and try to complete this entire CSAT part in less than 100 hours. That will be more than enough. ऐसा 1%, 2% भी अगर आ रहा दिमाग में कि पढ़ा तो है but still I need to read more, तो अभी पढ़ लो. This is the time, like Jan, Feb is the time. You try to focus on the areas where you feel कि I have not done any reading for that part. Do it right now. And if you want to take classes, take classes. If you are very motivated, so you are having everything over internet. You can go after that also. But just don't think ki we have this resource. Just do not sit on that. Try to follow that. Try to practice that. Try to read that. That is more important. Done. So this is like about CSAT. So open session may, like, you might have known these things. What are these things? What can be the approach? What are different topics, subtopics, weightage, everything. The idea is read. This is the time to read and revise. If you are having any question, you can ask. Yes.
Some of the questions that I came across in directions, what they end up doing is that they give you a shape which will end up making a triangle, and they need you to find the hypotenuse through that Pythagoras theorem. So, what's the difficulty level that you should practice when it comes to direction questions?
So that is like, see, in that, you know what is Pythagoras theorem? After attempting.
I realized that.
So
this
you
needs
are
to be
getting these
revised.
questions in the mocks,
Yeah, in the
not in
mocks.
the UPSC exam.
No, I didn't come.
So UPSC exam mein, there is no like questions which are asked from this trigonometry part.
Alright.
Correct? So if you see the UPSC previous year question, anywhere if you come across any quadratic equation
Yeah.
or some trigonometry things, you can get the answer just by the elimination technique.
Alright.
In the mocks, we can get many questions from these parts. Like trigonometry also they are asking in the mocks. But it is not asked in the UPSC. That is the thing. So we need to just discard these kind of questions. Just try to stick and focus upon the focus areas from where UPSC is asking more questions. Ultimately, we are going to leave some questions.
Yeah.
So these questions, if UPSC is asking, that will come into that basket.
Yeah.
Correct? So
Just
we
one-
need to focus on the important areas.
Just one more follow-up question.
Yes.
So the kind of questions that they are framing, you're saying that they're on a higher difficulty level in comparison to the shortcuts that most of these YouTube videos and the online resources are telling us. The videos I came across when I was starting to practice, most of these resources and these videos are only guiding you to a 5-6 questions that they are able to solve through shortcuts, and they will lend you some questions that you will be able to do through them only. But then the kind of questions they are framing, UPSC is
UPSC.
framing, it's quite different. You can't approach.
So that is what,
Similarly.
see, this is what happening. This is what is happening in YouTube. YouTube mein what happens? YouTube came up with the long videos. After then what happened? Shorts. Why it is coming? They have this data that attention span is like becoming lesser and lesser for everyone. It's not for you, it's not for me, it's for everyone. So how to be like more visible? How they can increase the visibility? What they can do? They can come up with the shorts. They will provide some shortcuts, and it will feel like, yeah, this is a very good thing. It will strike, yeah, bada acha kara isne. But that is not the demand of UPSC. So what UPSC is doing, they are very aware of this thing, ki conventional approach, the basic concepts we need to know. So if they are going with some shortcuts, what is the idea behind that shortcuts? I have seen many shortcuts, and the similar time we can, in the same time we can solve with the conventional approach also. But that shortcut is like, we can see that ki they are making diagrams, they are making some pictures, then they are saying ki how you can multiply, how you can divide. I will show you the trick, and which no one has ever shown you. So this way, some captions are there. So the idea is for UPSC, just go after the basics, the basic concepts, not for the shortcuts. And if you go after this basics, you will get this idea ki what can be the shortcuts. We cannot start with the shortcuts. If you are going with the basics, conventional approach, solving, practicing some questions, you will come across the shortcuts. If this way questions are framed, this is the shortcut. 2-3 steps I can simply skip. Shortcut is what? So that we can skip 2-3 steps and we can reach to the answer in just 1 or 2 steps. That is what the shortcut. So follow basic concepts. And YouTube there are so many content. So it is very difficult for us to follow all these things and to gather the information. It is very important. If you are watching so many content from so many sources, it is difficult to gather those things at one place. So what we do, we are watching a short, so that seems it is here very good. So we like it, we will watch it further. And this way we are going to like 1,000 shots. How we can again revise that? It is very difficult. This time is like 1 year, more than 1 year. So this is not the right strategy. Correct? Assumptions based question. So what is the problem you are facing in that? Get it right. Silox wale questions.
Which of the following assumptions are right in the reading comprehension?
Reading comprehension. Okay. So for that we need to see like out of 5 questions, see how we can see this, how we can set the tone for it. Pick out 5 passages where assumption based questions are asked. Just pick out. Then try to see what answer you are marking for them. Out of 5, how many you are marking correct? Have you done this? So what problem you are facing? What can be the assumption? What can be the idea is we are confused with these 2 things. This is conclusion or this is assumption. That is the idea we are getting. So what is like cause? What is the effect? This way we can mark it so that we can get some idea. It is the starting point, it is the end point, how we can start with, how we can think of it. So for that, if these kind of confusion you are getting, we need to sit and discuss like what kind of passages you are reading. And in how many questions you are getting the incorrect answers. In how many, some of the passages you might be getting the correct answer also. You are getting that? So try to follow that, how we are getting. What is the tone of that passage? How they have started, what information they have given. In like small passages you are marking the incorrect answer. In bigger passages you are marking the incorrect answer. So like that, we need to follow on that. Say we cannot come to any conclusion. So if you come and will see the passages, then we can get that idea what is the problem you are facing, and you are marking every time the incorrect answer. Correct? Any other question? Philosophical passages. So philosophical passages may again the same problem. That is why see what happens, what I'm saying. Philosophical passages may what happens. Again the thing is, that is why every year what happens, 4 or 5 questions, answer is incorrect. And what happens if discussion starts, it doesn't end. So that is what, like, it is not like you, it is for everyone. Everyone is facing these problems. That is why I'm saying ki RC mein no one is perfect to make you understand what is the correct approach. Permutation and combination. So you are asking ki permutation combination we need to skip or we need to study. So what I can say, permutation combination mein just basic concepts that is related to basic counting, that is related to numbers, codes, letters, alphabets. This you can understand. Otherwise, just leave other things. So some basic questions, if you are getting in the question paper, if you can solve it, otherwise leave it. So whenever you get the paper, mark the questions which are from permutation and combination, that you're not going to solve it in the beginning. At the end, if you get time, then you solve them. Yes.
Sir, there are many questions which are very tough or very time consuming. How to avoid picking that questions?
See, that comes from the practice, like time consuming questions. What happens from maths part, what happens ki the question is from divisibility rules. And you know the divisibility rules of all the, sorry. Sorry. See what happens sometimes, if we are very familiar with some topics, if question comes from that topic, we feel like we are going to solve it. And that also some ego is also there. Ki I have read this topic very clearly, I know all the concepts. How I can leave this? And we feel like ki yaar, I read that topic just 2 days back and I know it very well, we'll take it. But sometimes what happens, ki the question is like, I can show you in 22, 23, this way they have asked questions where divisibility rule based question is asked, but that question was carrying so much information. If you start solving that, at the end you can solve it because you know all the divisibility rules, but it is going to kill your like 5 to 8 minutes. So this way we need to think of, if we see the question, this question is from which topic, from which subtopic, and what can be the approach for it, and how much time it can take. So that can come from the practice. So after some practice, some mock test practice, you will get this idea ki which questions we can simply skip. So you have read all the topics, try to get the questions. ऐसा कई बार होता है, what happens कि we start from the first question, first, second, third, fourth, this way, till we go till like 65, 67 तक पहुँचे. And after then all the easy questions are there. So this is also the case. So we need to go after like all the pages. Ki in all the pages how the questions are framed, what kind of like very basic questions if they have asked, I can simply get the answer in 30 seconds. Why to leave those questions? तो थोड़ा सा smart बनना पड़ेगा for that. And बिल्कुल 30 seconds, 1 minute, after 1 minute. And if in any question you are getting more than 2 minutes, time देखते रहो, just skip that question. Because what happens, कि you feel कि I have devoted 2 minutes, just 30 seconds में I can get the answer. Then 2 minutes 30 seconds, then you feel कि यार 2 minutes 30 seconds तो दिया ही है, 30 seconds और 1 minute दे देते हैं, आंसर आ जाएगा. And this way you devote like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. और कब टाइम जाता है पता भी नहीं चलता है. So थोड़ा सा we need to be smart in this. Any other question? Yes? RC questions? Yes? RC questions are like sometimes very tricky. Like this 24 wala paper, it was the most difficult paper. If in terms of RCs, it was the most difficult. Even it was more difficult than 23 paper. Yes?
गुड इवनिंग सर. सर मैं ये पूछ रही वैसे मेरा मैथ्स साइड और एक कॉम्प्रहेंशन मतलब दोनों ठीक ठीक ही है, मतलब बहुत अच्छा ना वो है ना ये है. तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि कॉम्प्रहेंशन में मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चन मेरे करेक्ट जाते हैं और पर बहुत ही टाइम कंज्यूम हो जाता है, मतलब उसमें तो मैं उसको कवर ही नहीं कर पाती हूँ. तो उसको पैसेज को जैसे एक बार या 2 बार पढ़ के मुझे समझ नहीं आता, पर जब समझती हूँ तीसरे राउंड तक या चौथे राउंड तक तो सही निकल जाता है मैक्सिमम. तो मैं सोच रही थी क्या उसको फिर एक पहले राउंड में हिंदी में पढ़ के फिर उसको इंग्लिश में पढ़ के कर ले, या फिर इंग्लिश ही टाइम मैनेज कैसे करें?
इसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, लाइक इफ यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद द हिंदी पार्ट.
नो सर, नॉट कंफर्टेबल.
नॉट कंफर्टेबल,
बट ये एक बार में
बट यू गेट द आंसर करेक्ट.
यस, इन इंग्लिश करेक्ट आ जाते हैं, पर बहुत टाइम लग जाता है उसको करने में, क्योंकि उसके पूरा स्टोरी समझ बहुत देर में आती है. तो सोच रही थी एक राउंड पहले राउंड में स्टोरी समझ लूँ, दूसरे राउंड में वो पैसेज दे के कर लूँ, क्योंकि
Okay, so first round में you just read the passage
in
Hindi and see the questions
in English.
Yes. And then leave that part. या फिर वहीं पे फिर सॉल्व कर लेते हो उसको?
नहीं, वहीं पे कर लेती हूँ. मतलब हिंदी अभी मैंने कभी पढ़ के किया तो नहीं, बस पूछ रही थी, क्योंकि इंग्लिश मुझे 2-3 बार पढ़ के पैसेज समझ आती है.
Okay, understood. See, in pressure condition, how you perform? Like what you can do, you can start with the maths and the reasoning part. Devote 40 minutes for maths and LR part. In maths also you are good?
दोनों एक ही जैसा, मतलब
एक ही जैसा है
जी. उसमें
बिल्कुल, फिर तो कुछ डरना ही नहीं है इसमें. हमें लाइक वी डोंट नीड टू गेट लाइक 150 मार्क्स.
मतलब बस ऐसा है मैथ्स क्वेश्चन साइड लेके करूँगी पूरा, तो उसमें बहुत अच्छा, मतलब पासिंग में दिक्कत हो जाएगी, पूरा कंप्रेंशन अगर
So
मैंने छोड़
simply
दिया
what you
तो।
can do, devote some 40 minutes for maths and LR.
जी
See how many questions you are doing. Then leave that part. Start with the RC. Devote for RC like 60 minutes.
60।
Then still you are left with 20 minutes. 20 minutes में फिर से देख लो मैथ्स और रीजनिंग में कुछ क्वेश्चंस मार्क करके देख लो कि कितने आप सही कर सकते हो उसमें से। तो इस तरीके से थोड़ा बहुत। अब ये चीज़ें क्या है कि यू नीड टू सी कि व्हाट कैन बी योर अप्रोच।
जी
थोड़ा सा मॉक टेस्ट दे के उसमें ये सब चीज़ें अप्लाई करके देखो
जी
कि फर्स्ट 40 मिनट्स में हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस यू आर मेकिंग करेक्ट। देन या फिर फर्स्ट 60 मिनट्स में यू स्टार्ट विद द आरसी एंड टेक फर्स्ट 60 मिनट्स। लेकिन आरसी में ये होता ही है कि इट इज़ गोइंग टू यू नो किलर टाइम।
यस सर।
लाइक एक बार पैसेज पढ़ा, देन क्वेश्चन, देन अगेन पैसेज, देन अगेन क्वेश्चन, सो दिस वे इट हैपेंस।
इसी में टाइम वेस्ट हो
तो
जाता है।
टाइम लगता है,
एक
बिल्कुल लगेगा।
एक क्वेश्चन में कितने टाइम देना चाहिए?
एक क्वेश्चन पे कितना टाइम देना चाहिए, दैट इज लाइक इट कैन नॉट बी यूनिफॉर्म फॉर एवरीवन।
ऑन एन एवरेज
See what I'm saying, just you get that idea. CSAT, like 60 minutes you are devoting for RC. There are 25 questions you are devoting, you are marking 25 questions. So how many passages you are going to read? Suppose roughly 15 passages, 16 passages you are reading. So one passage, what time you are devoting? 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, passage and question. So ऐसे see this way we cannot mark the things. एक passage को 4 मिनट देना है, this way we cannot go, we cannot move forward because some passages like philosophical, they are difficult to understand. There we need to devote more time. Few passages like environment, climate change, this way straightforward passages, there we can devote less time because we can understand it very in lesser time, वहाँ पे कम time. So this way, this allocation of time cannot be uniform across the passages. So simple idea for you can be like you devote first 30-40 minutes for maths and LR part and try to get this idea in your mind कि around 15-20 questions you are going to attempt. And next 60 minutes may go with this RC part and see how many questions you can attempt. Because initially if you start with RC part, you are going to devote more time because we tend to feel this way, if I am going to mark it, it is 100, it must be 100% correct. है ना, ये दिमाग में आता है ना कि 100% करेक्ट होना चाहिए, उसके लिए एक बार मारने से पहले फिर से देख लिया कि यार फिर से पैसेज पढ़ लेते हैं,
डर लगता है
है ना,
मतलब
डर लगता है. सो इसीलिए सो दैट इज वाई स्टार्ट विथ मैथ्स एंड LR पार्ट. ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर.
एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? यस. कितने टाइम पढ़ सकते हैं? हाउ मेनी टाइम्स? सी इन द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल देखो, वन टाइम में तो होता ही नहीं है बारसी, ट्वाइस तो वी हैव टू रीड. सी व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, वन टाइम में तो समझ में आता नहीं है, ट्वाइस वी हैव टू रीड. कुछ में आ जाते हैं, बिल्कुल कुछ में आ जाते हैं, बट वी वांट टू बी श्योर कि ये सही है कि नहीं है. दैट इज वाई इट इज टाइम टेकिंग. देखो ये सब चीज़ें थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस करने से ही समझ में आएगा. एवरीवन इज हैविंग डिफरेंट अप्रोच, डिफरेंट आइडिया, डिफरेंट अंडरस्टैंडिंग. So if you start with RC part, like few are very good in RC, क्योंकि उन्होंने एक बार पैसेज पढ़ा, समझ में आ गया, है ना. This happens, and they are getting the correct answer. Accuracy is also very high, but it is not same for everyone. It is not same for everyone. ये भी we need to understand. See. If once, see what I'm, नहीं समझ में आया, थोड़ा समझ में आया, confusion. Once more you read it, once more you read it. If you are getting the answer, yes, okay, otherwise just skip it. like twice you are reading, you are not getting the answer, thrice you are reading, then also you will not get the answer. Correct? And mark it like you have read twice, so at the end if you get time, so हो सकता है प्रेशर में you can get some idea कि चलो 50-50% वाला कुछ कर सकते हैं इसमें. So that way you can see, ये सब ऐसी चीज़ें हैं, it cannot be like one approach. Not everyone can follow. Everyone must have some limitation, and everyone is having that limitation. Everyone is having that strength also. सबकी अपनी strength है, सबकी अपनी weaknesses हैं. That we need to understand. Time 2 hours है हमारे पास, सारे करना है, तो उस टाइम को how you are going to allocate, that is the most important thing, that time management part. उसके लिए 1-2 टेस्ट दिया आपने, देना पड़ेगा उसके लिए, then only we can understand that part. कई बार क्या होता है मॉक टेस्ट में, the maths questions are very difficult, that is not of UPSC standard, then we are going to feel this way. RC के क्वेश्चन भी ऐसे सेट हो गए कि यो UPSC से भी डिफिकल्ट पूछ दिया. So this happens, variability is there, क्योंकि UPSC साल में एक ही पेपर बना रहा है, and test series every year how many? 30 to 40, and every test series is having like 80 questions, every test paper is having like 25 to 30 RCs, questions also that way, and in GS also the same way. So what is happening, like UPSC is making just 100 question in GS, 80 question in CSAT. They are also repeating the questions, है ना? ऐसा नहीं है कि UPSC is not repeating questions. Similar type of question they are asking. Sometimes they are repeating also. So how come these test series can come up with the same standard, the same quality questions? It is very difficult. That is why they dig deep and ask very technical question in GS also, and in CSAT also. They start asking trigonometry, then इधर उधर कि कैसे अब 40 question पूछने हैं, and they have to make like 30 tests, है ना? 1200 questions कहाँ से बना के लाएंगे UPSC standard के? It is very difficult for them, for anyone. So they start putting some questions कि चलो कुछ trigonometry का डाल दिया, कुछ geometry का डाल दिया. So this way this happens. तो test series की भी limitation we need to understand. That is not the marker. तो उससे नहीं करना है. So time कैसे decide करना है, उसके लिए we need to practice. You can take 16-17 का पहले पेपर उठा लो CSAT का. एक पेपर in 2 hours time try to attempt. Then see what is your strength, what is your weakness. उसके बाद ही ये हो पाएगा. ठीक है? और देखो आपको ही समझ में आएगा ये, और आपको समझना पड़ेगा, एंड यू हैव टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट विद दैट. ऐसा नहीं है कि दूसरे देख रहे हैं क्या बोलेंगे. मैथ्स में हमने आउट ऑफ 40 हमने अटेम्प्ट करा, अगर पता चला कि 40 क्वेश्चंस वी आर मार्किंग करेक्ट, सॉरी 14 क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ 40, 14 क्वेश्चंस कम हो गए, हमें लग रहा है कम है, उसको एक्सेप्ट करो, देखो कि और कहाँ पे इम्प्रूवमेंट ला सकते हैं, कहाँ पे पढ़ना है. यही सारी चीज़ें तो करना है. ये तो नेट प्रैक्टिस है, फाइनल मैच तो उधर है मई में, उसी के लिए तो सारी तैयारी है. तो थोड़ा ईमानदारी से, ऑनेस्टी से मेहनत करनी है. ठीक है
सर, कैन वी अफोर्ड टू स्किप द आरसी पार्ट?
वी कैन नॉट. We cannot afford to skip any of these 3 parts. ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. RC में you feel कि you are not very like confident. Just a second. See, out of these 3 parts, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते कि वी कैन स्किप एनी पार्ट. इफ़ यू फील आरसी में यू आर नॉट दैट कॉन्फिडेंट, अटेम्प्ट लेस नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. ये कर सकते हो. लेस नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस एंड मोर टाइम यू कैन डिवोट टू इंक्रीज दैट एक्यूरेसी. ऐसा कर सकते हो. थोड़ा बहुत तो करना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि यू कैन सिंपली गो फॉर मैथ्स NLR एंड आरसी से एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं करा। अरे कुछ क्वेश्चन ऐसे ही सम्मान में कर देना कि 8-10 क्वेश्चंस है ना। मैथ्स एलआर में यू आर वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट, तब भी सी वी डोंट नो कि व्हाट इज द कॉम्पोजिशन। यूपीएससी हैज़ नॉट रिटन एनीवेयर कि इन दिस प्रपोर्शन ओनली दे आर गोइंग टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस, कि like 40 question from maths, 25 from RC and 15 from LR part, है ना। This way they have not written anywhere. So if what happens if this year RC say they asked 50 questions, है ना, LR say they asked 10 questions, 20 question from maths, it will be very difficult for you. तो ऐसा नहीं करना है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है। Keep these things in mind कि यूपीएससी ऐसा भी कर सकता है। और यूपीएससी के पास जाओगे दे विल से कि वी हैव नॉट रिटन एनीवेयर इन द सिलेबस दैट दिस विल बी द प्रपोर्शन, है ना। दे आर ऑल्सो राइट, दे हैव नॉट रिटन एनीवेयर, सो वी कैन नॉट स्किप एनी पार्ट। ट्राई टू गो विथ दिस। इफ यू आर नॉट वेरी कंफर्टेबल विथ आरसी पार्ट, ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट लेस नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन, डिवोट मोर टाइम, दैट वे यू कैन इंक्रीज योर एक्यूरेसी लेवल। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? See, what I feel ki, see what I am saying, these mock tests, try to get this idea. Whenever you see the question paper, see how many questions they are asking from trigonometry, है ना, geometry, algebra, and the questions where the calculation is more. Discard those questions and see how many questions are left. So in every CSAT test or any GS also, the same thing is happening. Like 10-15 questions are simply we can discard. That cannot come to the UPSC paper. So discard that and see what is the percentage score out of 70 questions, out of 65 questions. Then you can get some idea that way. And this is like you can, if you are getting like more than 75, that means 75, 80, 85, 80, 90, this way you are getting the scores. You can simply say कि yes, now it's done, and do not like think of this way कि I will complete CSAT, after then I will go for GS. Every day you devote some time for CSAT and then GS also. Otherwise both the things are like following us. Sometimes they are after us, sometimes we are after them. So it's like if both are going hand in hand, then it is okay. Then only we can feel confident. Yes? Any other question?
सर जैसे कि सर मेरा मैथ सर उतना सर अच्छा नहीं है सर, तो सर मतलब नेक्स्ट ईयर अटेम्प्ट है सर देना, तो क्या सर किया जाए, कौन सा सर बुक से सर पढ़ा जाए मैथ्स के लिए, कुछ रिकमेंड कर सकते हो आप?
सी अगर जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि मैथ्स आपका अच्छा नहीं है, आप ऐसा मानते हो,
सही में है सर,
तो ये तो ये इस कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचे कैसे आप? ऐसा क्यों लगता है आपको कि मैथ्स आपका अच्छा नहीं है? नंबर से ही डर लगता है? नंबर से
हाँ
डर लगता है? कोई मल्टीप्लिकेशन पूछ दिया या फिर किसी नंबर का टेबल पूछ दिया, ऐसा कुछ डर लगता है? ये मतलब इस कंक्लूजन पे क्यों है कि मेरा मैथ्स अच्छा नहीं है?
सर मुझे पता है सर,
मुझे आपने असेसमेंट किया हुआ है मतलब?
जी
ठीक
सर।
है। अगर ऐसा लगता है कि अगर ये लगता है कि मेरा मैथ्स थोड़ा उतना अच्छा नहीं है, देन यू कैन टेक क्लासेस। पढ़ाई मत करो अभी। पढ़ाई करने से क्या होगा? यू विल गेट मोर कन्फ्यूज्ड। तो कहीं पे क्लासेस ले लो कुछ CSAT की ही, क्योंकि मैथ्स में रिसर्च तो नहीं करना है, बस हमें उतना ही पढ़ना है जिससे वी कैन क्लियर द कट ऑफ।
अच्छा,
उतना ही करना है, ज़्यादा नहीं करना है हमें। GS की पढ़ाई करनी है और CSAT उतना पढ़ना है जिससे हमारा कट ऑफ क्लियर हो जाए। तो उसके लिए ज्वाइन सम क्लासेस। इसके लिए फिर कुछ और सोचना ही। जब दिमाग में ये आ गया कि मेरा मैथ्स उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है, मुझे इससे डर लगता है, देन यू नीड टू टेक क्लासेस। क्लासेस लो और रेगुलर बेसिस पे करो और फिर सही हो जाएगा, ये फिर डर खत्म हो जाएगा आपका।
सर जैसे कि सर अभी से सर कुछ सर पढ़ना सर चालू कर दे क्या, मतलब मैथ
खुद से?
हाँ मतलब
तो आप सोच रहे हो कि मुझे नेक्स्ट ईयर देना है, अभी से पढ़ना चालू कर दिया, पढ़ भी लिया, फिर तो भूल जाएगा अगले साल तक, ऐसा है
सर
ना?
प्रैक्टिस सर रखेंगे तो
हाँ,
प्रैक्टिस मतलब
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि देखो अभी ये दिमाग में चीज़ है आपके,
जी सर।
मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि अभी पढ़ लो, कहीं से भी पढ़ लो, अभी पढ़ लो, कॉन्सेप्ट्स थोड़े से क्लियर करने की कोशिश करो, कुछ टेस्ट भी दो, और उसके बाद इस बार वाला तो देना नहीं है, लेकिन पेपर तो आएगा,
जी सर।
पेपर सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, तो एक लिटमस टेस्ट भी हो जाएगा हमारा कि हमने जो पढ़ाई करी है अभी उससे क्या मैं सॉल्व कर पा रहा हूँ CSAT, तो आइडिया एक अच्छा मिल जाएगा कि हमने क्या पढ़ा, क्या सीखा और क्या परफॉर्म करा हमने खुद से। वो 2 आवर्स में सॉल्व करना, पेपर हो जाएगा नेक्स्ट डे 2 आवर्स में सॉल्व करना, और नेक्स्ट डे ही कर लेना, क्योंकि उसके 2-3 दिन बाद तो यूट्यूब शॉर्ट्स में बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर आ जाएंगे।
सही बात है
ना?
थैंक
तो
यू
ये
सर।
चीज़ करना जरूर है।
थैंक यू सर।
एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? ठीक है, तो अच्छे से पढ़ाई करो। द थंब रूल इज यू हैव टू स्टडी, बाकी तो पता है सबको कैसे पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है, एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल, बट पढ़ना है। थैंक यू एवरीवन, ऑल द बेस्ट।